Rockport, Illinois. Appreciate you tuning in on this one. Final score, Red River Spartans 5, Minnesota Blue Hawks 1. You've been watching the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase live exclusively on Black Bear TV. And here the 17, Jackson Husingfeld sends it in, picked up by Jake Blum. Blum now to 68 of Joel Patterson. Patterson now to Chase Martin. Martin will bring it in. Oh, to Jackson Stone. Stone with a shot, goes wide. Picked up there by the 10 of Kojima. Joe Kojima now with the puck. Met there by Peavitz. Peavitz had it knocked away. Peavitz goes back after it. Pressure there by Grant O'Connor. O'Connor now. Try to feed to Kojima. Comes back to Jackson Stone. Stone now to Luca Peavitz. Peavitz over to Jake Taylor. Taylor now will bring it in. Taylor looking for Evangelista and couldn't put a stick to the puck. Now it comes back over to Plank. Plank knocked away by fellow 21 Enric Fournier. And it comes back to Dolan Robinson. Robinson. Pressure there by Evangelista. Grant O'Connor now grabs it. As play continues in the Jets zone. On the side of the net, picked up by Evangelista, met there by Dallin Robinson. Comes back to Jake Taylor. Taylor to Luca Peavitz. Peavitz now will bring it in. Peavitz with a shot, goes wide. And the puck comes back into the neutral zone. Evangelista grabs it. Pressure there by Grant O'Connor. Luska now grabs it. Daniel Luska will send it in. And now it's picked off there by the 55 of Jeff Gould with a shot up. Cheka with a save. Collided with Jake Taylor in front of the net. And a shot there was blocked by Evan Cote. Jets got away with almost a costly turnover. And Luska trying to get it out with a little bit of help from Zaccani. Luska now being pressured with a little bit of help from Evangelista, who gets out in the neutral zone. And it comes back to Jake Taylor. Taylor now with the puck to Evan Cote. Bouncing puck in on Parker Ambry, and he'll cover with 18:16 to go here in the first half. Face off deep in the squat zone. Picked up by Zaccani. Over to Bunk. Knocked away. Prokop now to Schelkenberg. Offside. The call. $18:09 to go here in the first half. 0-0 just underway. Shots even, 3 apiece for the Jets and the Squatch. Final game of day number 2 of the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase from Summit Ice Center here in Lockport, Illinois. Ryder Novak had it knocked away by Ren Jacobson. Minnesota Squatch, we mentioned, top of the show, playing their 3rd game in 24 hours. Lost earlier today, 2-0 to the Midwest Division leading Fort Wayne Spacemen. After a 4-2 victory last night over the Red River Spartans. Well, the MetroJets playing their first game of the weekend. As Upcheka makes a save and steers it off to Isaac Bunk. Bunk up to Ryder Novak, to Ryan Gomboski with a shot, was blocked there by Ren Jacobson. The 19-year-old from Brookings, South Dakota. Lobs it in, picked up by Cole Perkins. Perkins brings it in, pressure by Chase Martin. Fanted it right out in front, looking for Wes Schelkenberg. And it comes back to Cole Perkins. Schelkenberg, your reigning USPHL Premier North Division Offensive Player of the Week. Pass it over there to Sobalski. Comes back, Squatch in the midst of a line change. As Upcheka makes the save. Back out to Chase Martin. Whoever gave out and picked up by Sobalski. Knocked away there by Ryan Gomboski. And the puck sent down. Hit up by Gabe Altman, who lost a wheel, went head first into the boards. So, appears to be okay. Puck sent it up. Cheka will play it himself for Owen Coulter. Coulter now to Gabe Altman. Good to see him. Just an awkward fall, head face first into the boards. The puck goes back into the Jets zone. Picked up by Chase Martin. Martin sends it across, too far for Owen Coulter. As Jeff Gould lost the wheel, out Aiden Hartzell to get to the puck first. Hartzell gets a little bit of help from Joel Patterson. Right to the goal mouth and picked up there by Spencer Thompson. Thompson for Sobalski, back to Thompson. Thompson with a shot, goes wide on Jakub Cheka. Fournier, and there's a penalty coming to the Jets. Indeed there is. And that'll put the Minnesota Squatch in the power play for the first time. And Henrik Fournier's pleading his case. But the Minnesota Squatch will go on the power play for the first time. 11th best in the USPHL Premier, 27.8%. Scored 25 power play goals in 90 opportunities with a man advantage. While the MetroJets, 12th best penalty kill in the league, 87%, have scored 6 shorthanded goals. That is something to keep an eye on. And next door, it's a 1-1 tie between the Mavericks and MJDP. Keeping a track on both games for the MetroJets Hockey Club fans tuning in on Black Bear TV as Schalkenberg. Schenkelberg had to bring it out of the neutral zone. Picked up by Bennett Prokop. Prokop tried to feed it up to the 21. Lucas Plank, but knocked back into the squat zone. Schenkelberg spent time already this season with the Ogden Mustangs in the NCDC and the St. Cloud Norsemen, the North American Hockey League. Prokop had it knocked away by Evangelista and sent down into the squat zone. Ambry leads it there for Lucas Plank, the leading scorer for the Squatch. The 20-year-old from Bolzano, Italy, over to Bennett Prokop. Prokop sends it in. Too far for Cheka. Knocked away by Jackson Stone, but not out. Kept in. Prokop trying to feed it across to Cole Perkins. AJ Zaccani is there. So is Jake Blum. Zaccani pressuring Prokop. Zaccani comes out with it. Lost the wheel. Comes back to Jackson Stone, and Stone will knock it down into the squat zone. 14:15 to go here in the first half. Alexander Beaver gets there just ahead of Jake Blum to negate the icing. That would have been an icing call on the Squatch otherwise. Beaver looking across over to Sobalski. And knocked away by Luka Pivets, who gets down the neutral zone. Picked up by the 17 of Jackson. Husingveld. Husingveld, the 19-year-old from Rosemont, Minnesota. Up to Alexander Beaver. Beaver with the puck around the net over to Sobalski. Sobalski now to Husingveld. Back over to Sobalski. Pressured there by Sutton Majeski. Both power plays over. Both teams back to full strength. And Cheka on the rebound. Big stop by Jakub Cheka to keep this game 0-0. $13:32 to go here in the first half. Showcase format a little bit different than a regular season game, though it does count the regular season standings. Instead of the regular 3 20-minute periods of play, it is 2 25-minute halves here of the Chicago Showcase, and even within the showcases it's sometimes different. As the case of the USPHL Detroit Showcase last month, there was 3 17-minute periods with a resurface at the halfway point of the second period. Here in the Chicago Showcase, it is 2 25-minute halves. And you'll notice the far line change. is a reverse of what you would normally see, say, for the second period of regular season game. As the MetroJets skating right to left with their bench to the left side. Sharon had it knocked away. Comes back over to Daniel Luska. Luska sends it towards the net. Bouncing puck as Sharon couldn't get a stick on the ice. And they score! Sutton Majeski bounced it off the backside of Parker Embry. And the Jets strike first. They lead 1-0. Sutton Majeski, the 20-year-old from Lakeport, Michigan, his 10th goal of the season, and the Jets lead by a score of 1-0. Big goal by Sutton Majeski to put the Jets on the board first, as he bounced it off the backside of goaltender Parker Embry to give the Jets a 1-0 lead. Offside the call. Always got to be alert. Majeski is one of those guys that can score from pretty much anywhere, and he proved it. He was behind the goal line, bounced it off the backside of Embry to give him the goal. His 10th of the season. Picked up by Evan Cote. Cote kicks it up to Martin. Martin with a shot. Was blocked there by Grant O'Connor. Sutton Majeski is 10th of the season, unassisted at 12:20. Has given the Jets a 1-0 lead. O'Connor comes back with it, the 19-year-old from Memphis, Tennessee. Looking for Lucas Plank, had it knocked away by Jake Taylor. Dallin Robinson now has it. Kicks it over to Colin Lieb. But Chase Martin grabbed it, sends it to the neutral zone. Picked up by Jeb Gould. The 20-year-old from Sugarland, Texas, the captain of the Squatch. Save made by Opcheka. He goes sliding into Opcheka. Opcheka saved him as well. 11:28 to go. Minnesota actually out shooting the Jets 9-4 here in the first half. Face off to the left of goaltender Jakub Opcheka. The 20-year-old goaltender from Zvolen, Slovakia. Shot there by Prokop. Save made by Opcheka. Evangelista couldn't get it out. Kept in by Prokop. Had it knocked away by Chase Martin. Prokop with about 4 inches of height on Chase Martin, but Martin able to knock him off the puck. Kept in by the aid of Brandon Carmody. Carmody over to Perkins. Perkins now to Wes Schenkelberg. Off-angle shot there by Prokop. Saved by Opcheka. Now the Jets trying to get to it, but knocked away there by Carmody. Pressure there by Jake Taylor. Schenkelberg feeds it back to Prokop. Met there by Chase Martin. Martin off the boards. And MJDP just took a 2-1 lead next door to the Columbus Mavericks. Good to have Lucas Benavidez back in the action. He scored the goal. So got both Jets premier teams playing at the same time right now. Picked up by Jackson Stone. Backhand pass, backhand shot there by Perkins and knocked down into the squat zone. Icing will be the call. 9:55 to go. Next door, it's MJDP and the Columbus Mavericks. MJDP a 2-1 lead over the Mavericks. Goals by Gianluca Varelli and Lucas Benavidez. Thomas Ashley has responded for the Mavericks. While here, Sutton Majeski has given the MetroJets a 1-0 lead over the Minnesota Squatch. And the MetroJets have wisely called a timeout. That line was at the end of a long shift and iced the puck. So head coach Jamie Lovell wisely calling a timeout. And they're scoring in bunches next door. The way the arena's laid out, you can hear everything going on next door. And we will await to see who scored that one. But a great coaching move by Jamie Lovell, wisely calling that timeout. That line had been out there a while. Darren Hansen up here in the booth with us, anxiously awaiting to see who scored next door. You know, you can run over and see. I mean, it was MGDP, 3-1. Blake Brackett with the goal. So MGDP on top, 3-1. 3:35 to go in the first half. Columbus opened the scoring with Ashley, but then the MGDP responded with 3 unanswered. Varelli, Benavidez, and Brackett with the goals. So face off to the right of Jakub Upcheka. We can hear what's going on next door, but we do have a game here. Sharon will take the draw against Beaver. And won by the Squatch. Zabalski fed it up to the 19 of Green, and now here come the Jets. Fournier for Glomboski to Sharon. Sharon with a shot. Oh, doing just wide. Picked up by Zaccani. Too far for Sharon. Picked up by Husigveld. Trying to feed it to Thompson, but didn't get it out into the neutral zone. Picked up by A.J. Zaccani. Zaccani had it, lost it. Picked up by the 19 of Green. And comes back to the 17 of Husigveld. Picked up there by Thompson, but a shot off the blocker of Jakub Upcheka. Big stop by Upcheka. And puck deflected out of play almost to us up here. A lucky fan from South Bend, Indiana almost picked up a souvenir puck. Just climb down and get it. You'll be fine. You'll be all right, Darren. Just climb down there and grab it. Picked up by Upcheka. He's going to have to come out and play it because Spencer Thompson was right there. You can climb down there if you want. Daniel Luska pinching in. Send it across, and he scores! Beautiful feed by Daniel Luska. Has made this a 2-0 game as Hayden Hartzell snaps a long scoring draw. The 18-year-old from Muskegon, Michigan, picks up the goal, his 5th of the season. A beautiful feed by Daniel Luska. And that's Hartzell's first goal since November 14th against the Cincinnati Cyclones, almost a month. It's 2-0 Jets. Aiden Hartzell from Daniel Luska has given the Jets a 2-0 lead. As Minnesota are scrambling now. They didn't lose their first game in regulation time until a week ago today against the Hudson Havoc. Since then, they have lost 2-0 earlier today to the Fort Wayne Spacemen. So they may not want to play on Fridays anymore. Oh, is that the Tubes? Yes! Playing some good music here at Summit Ice Center. You gotta be an 80s guy, an 80s kid to know the tubes. 2-0 score. Aiden Hartzell from Daniel Luska. So face off. The second goal should read Aiden Hartzell, his 5th of the season, from Daniel Luska and Ryder Novak at 16:27 to give the Jets a 2-0 lead. And icing the call. Shots 11-5 in favor of the Minnesota Squatch, but the Jets have made 2 of those 5 shots count. They lead 2-0. Another thing to keep in mind, Minnesota Squatch goaltender Parker Ambry, this is his 3rd consecutive start in less than 24 hours. He was a goaltender last night, and then the Squatch 4-2 victory over the Red River Spartans. He was also the goaltender today in the Squatch 2-0 loss to the Fort Wayne Spacemen. He's making a start again tonight here against the MetroJets. So you could make the argument that Parker Ambry, the 19-year-old from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, perhaps a little fatigued, as he has faced 3 high-powered offenses. Red River Spartans last night, the Fort Wayne Spacemen earlier today, and now the MetroJets. But General Manager head coach Chick Pojar has all the confidence in the world in his workhorse goaltender, Parker Ambry, the 19-year-old from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The former Nanaimo Buccaneer in the VIJHL. Also spent time last year with the Quesno River Rush in the KIJHL. Both up in Canada. This is Ambry's first season in the United States. The 6'2", 170-pound goaltender from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. End of the first half next door. MetroJets Development Program, MJDP up 3-1 over the Columbus Mavericks. The Mavericks are 2-0 this weekend, while it's MJDP's first game of the weekend. Picked up there by Lucas Plank. Will send it in. Jay Blum will go after it. Pressure by Dallin Robinson. Comes back to Plank. Plank knocked away by Enric Fournier. And Blum now to Majeski. Majeski gets it on the neutral zone. Sit right back in, just wide of Upcheka. And now Fournier for Cote. Tried to deflect it over to Majeski. And picked up a counter. Intercepted by Jackson Stone. Stone to Cote with a shot wide. Picked up by Sutton Majeski. Wide open. Luska with a shot up high. Just missed the crossbar. Picked up by Fournier. Fournier now sends it over. Luska pinches in. Over to Jackson Stone. Stone sends it in. Picked away there by Luska. As Luska feeds it back over to Jackson Stone. Stone now to Evan Cote. Cote now with the puck. For Majeski. Majeski now. Back to Stone with a shot. Patted away by Parker Ambry. And the Nets come off the moorings. 4:53 to go here in the first half. Jets starting to catch up on shots now. 12-8. Still in favor of the Squatch. Face off deep in the Squatch zone. Man, I'm going to be up all night drinking this coffee at 9:17 Central Time, 10:17 Eastern. For those tuning in the Great Lakes State, watching the MetroJets play for the first time this weekend. Big thanks to Darren and Jill Hansen for 2 extra large Dunkin' Midnight black coffees today. It is considerably warmer in this rink than it was last night. Don't have to wear a head covering today, at least in the building. It was chilly last night. It's much warmer today. The high temperature outside was 26 degrees. Tomorrow's forecasted high, 8. 8 degrees is the forecasted high for tomorrow. It's going to be cold. The low tomorrow, -6. High today of 8, low of -6 tomorrow. That'll be fun. Pick up by knocked off by Perkins offside. Good news for those in Mount Clemens. Tomorrow's high of 25, low of 3. 20 and 15 are the temperatures on Sunday. Well, the temperatures here on Sunday are 9 and 0. I am moving to Florida when I retire. I just am. 2-on-1, Peavitz. The Hartzell couldn't quite pull the trigger. Went into skates. Comes back to Jake Blum. Blum now to Hartzell. Looking for a Coulter, but Ambry covers. Sutton Majeski unassisted. His 10th of the season at 12:20. Gave the Jets a 1-0 lead. And then Aiden Hartzell on a beautiful feed from Daniel Luska. Hartzell, his 5th of the season from Luska and Ryder Novak. And 16-27, giving the Jets a 2-0 lead. Off top of the glove of Parker Ambry is Henrik Fournier. Kept it in with a little bit of help from Luka Peavitz. Met there by the 19 of Tyler Green. Had it knocked away, picked up by Bennett Prokop. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Prokop backhand shot goes wide. Peavitz knocks Perkins off the puck. And feeds it up to Owen Coulter. Had it taken away by Prokop. Shot by Perkins off the left skate cap of Jakub Upcheka. He uses every single gosh darn piece of equipment he has to make a save. We still give him grief about his pads. That came with him from Slovakia. He hasn't got his new Jets pads yet, the red, white, and blue ones. Those came from Slovakia. They have seen a lot of vulcanized rubber. Those were white when they started. As he explained to me in broken English, those were white, gray, and red. Bright white, nice gray and red. Now they are... I don't know what color you call that. It's not white. Off-white. There we go. Another save there by Upcheka. Picked up there by the 12 of Grant O'Connor, trying to bank it off. The backside. Novak over to Plank with a shot. Blocked by Patterson. Picked up by O'Connor. Over to Dallin Robinson. Robinson and Lucas Plank. Back to Robinson. Upcheka poked the stick out and knocked away that pass. And it goes all the way down. Icing the call. Matt Naiman tuning in from his hot tub. Want to let us know it was 102 degrees in a hot tub. That's great, Matt. Both Darren and I give you the one-finger salute. We do miss you, Matt Naiman. Wish you were here, buddy. And you know why, Mr. Matt. You know why more than anyone. He has felt the brunt of many phone calls already this weekend. Gabe Outman had it taken away by Beaver. Ocheka makes the save. Isaac Bunk trying to get it out. A little bit of help from Gabe Outman. Bouncing puck goes wide as Jackson Heichert. Puck goes wide. Heichert sends it back, looking for Sobalski. Instead found Joel Patterson for Gabe Outman. Outman will bring it in. A little bit of help from Novak, who's knocked to the ice. Outman turns around, fires off the blocker. Jets finally get it. And a bouncing puck. His Ambry wasn't going to be fooled that time, as that one almost went off his backside. Cote grabs it. He's got Majeski to his left elbow. Majeski fires just wide. He's knocked to the ice. Comes back. Jake Taylor. Go to Jackson Stone. The shot goes wide. The net is off the moorings again with 1:17 to go here in the first half. As Parker Ambry has to do a little mask adjustment. So a brief pause in the action. Haven't gone to the Verners yet this weekend. Verners Zero Sugar. And for those that do this for a living, broadcasting, whether it's hockey or race, or in my case, motorsports, or as that puck was almost went to a lucky fan from New Haven, Michigan. But no, for those in the broadcasting industry, ginger ale is very, very good for your vocal cords. It soothes your vocal. The ginger in the ginger ale soothes your vocal cords. It's very good for it. And when you call a bunch of games in a row or a bunch of races in a row, it's a long weekend, the ginger kind of attaches itself to the vocal cords. And it is so good. You feel the tingle of the ginger on your vocal cords, and it's so soothing. Less than a minute remaining. Ambry tried to glove it down, but Majeski knocked it away. See, right away, as soon as I took that first drink of Verners, oh, feels great. Taylor with a shot goes wide. This is my 6th game of the weekend. I got 9 more to go. And I'm 6 games in going to the Verners, so that's pretty good, actually. Let's go over to Taylor. Taylor bouncing puck, and Ambry makes the save. But yeah, for future broadcasters out there or fellow broadcasters out there, ginger ale or any type of ginger, it binds to your vocal cords. It basically repairs them on the spot is what it does. Yeah, pretty much. Picked up by Jake Blum. Bouncing puck goes wide. 15 seconds left here in the first half. So like I said, just it's soothing right away. Almost immediate repair. Zaccani to Fournier. Fournier with a shot wide. Rebound comes across. Bouncing puck and now picked up by Plank, and that's going to do it. Sutton Majeski, his 10th of the season. Aiden Hartzell, his 5th of the season. MetroJets lead by a score of 2-0. Shots on goal in the first half. Minnesota Squatch with 14. MetroJets with 11. We'll take a short break, about 10 minutes or so. Come back for first half recap and start of the second half. You're watching the final game of day number 2, the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase, live exclusively on Black Bear TV. And welcome back to Summit Ice Center here in Lockport, Illinois. We're located probably about 15 minutes northeast of Joliet, about 45 minutes southwest of the Windy City of Chicago. The final game of day number 2 of the 2025 United States Premier Hockey League Chicago Showcase. This final matchup of the day in USPHL Premier play. The score at the end of the first half, the MetroJets 2, the Minnesota Squatch 0. My name is Matt Preer, the voice of the MetroJets Hockey Club. Good to have you with us as we wrap up day number 2 here at the home of the Chicago Cougars, Chicago Crush, and the Chicago T-Rex. A huge thank you once again to Pete and Amanda Olson, as well as Phil Bushbacher, Steve Maltese, Mike Palmieri, Danny Randall, Pavel Kutsevich, and especially Christian Pera, as well as the entire management and staff of all 3 Chicago hockey organizations for the wonderful hospitality certainly appreciate the honor and the privilege to be a part of the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase. Shots on goal in that first half. The Minnesota Squatch with 14, or the MetroJets with 11, but they made 2 of those count. Sutton Majeski picking up his 10th goal of the season. A single assist now being credited to the number 93 of Daniel Luska. That came at 12:20 to give the Jets a 1-0 lead. Then Aiden Hartzell, his 5th goal of the season on the assist from Daniel Luska, his 2nd assist of the day. And Ryder Novak, that came at 16:27 to give the Jets a 2-0 lead heading into the second half. The MetroJets, representing the USPHL Premier Great Lakes Division, play their home games in the Mount Clemens Ice Arena, located 30 minutes northeast of Motown, Detroit, in Mount Clemens, Michigan. They are the designated home team for this game, wearing the blue uniforms, white and red trim. They're skating left to right on your television screen. While the Minnesota Squatch, the current points leaders in the USPHL Premier North Division, play their home game to the Furniture and Things Community Event Center, located 45 minutes northwest of Minneapolis, St. Paul, in Elk River, Minnesota. They are the designated road team for this game, wearing the white uniforms, maroon shoulders, gray, blue, and black trim. They are skating right to left on your Black Bear TV dial. Whether it's your Android, your iPhone, your iPad, your laptop, your big screen TV, or in some cases with some of the parents here participating in the showcase with the earbuds listening in. We certainly appreciate you tuning in no matter where and when you are to the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase and the exclusive home of USPHL hockey. That, of course, is Black Bear TV. Picked up there by Gomboski, trying to off-angle shot. It worked earlier today for Sutton Majeski, who scored the first Jets goal. And Jake Blum sent it in, picked up by A.J. Zaccani. Bouncing puck, and he scores! Oh my! Parker Ambry wasn't expecting it. And A.J. Zaccani picks up the goal. He'll take it as Zaccani, the 19-year-old from Grosse Pointe, Michigan, his 11th goal of the season, and probably one of the stranger goals he has scored. And the Jets lead by a score of 3-0. Just a fluky goal that eludes goaltender Parker Ambry. And Zaccani, his 11th goal of the season from Aiden Sharon and Ryan Gomboski at the 53-second mark of the second half to give the Jets a 3-0 lead. Picked up by Jeb Gould. Gould wraps it around the boards for Colin Lieb, the 20-year-old from Feldkirch, Austria. Pressured there by Evangelista, but gets it over to Wes Schelkenberg. And here come the Squatch the other way. Sent down. To be picked up by Jake Taylor, the captain of the MetroJets. Up to Sandro Evangelista off the board, looking for Luka Pivets. Pivets sent it across to Jackson Stone. Stone with a puck. Send it across. Looking for Luka Pivets. Able to keep it in. Send it over into the corner. Picked up by Evangelista. As Sandro Evangelista over to Tyler Fleming. Fleming across. Over to Isaac Bunk with a shot. Was blocked there by Cole Perkins. Bunk now sent to the boards. Peavitz battles there with Perkins. Kept in, though, by Jackson Stone. But knocked away there by Colin Lieb. Tyler Fleming sends it right back in. As Jeb Gould, the captain of the Squatch, picks it up. The 20-year-old from Sugar Land, Texas. Sidesteps Sutton Majeski. He'll bring it in himself. Isaac Bunk pushes him to the outside. Never got a shot off, and Gould went crashing into the boards. Picked up by Majeski. Kept in Ren Jacobson, but his shot goes wide. On the side of the net, water bottle goes flying. Upcheka will pick that up at the next whistle. Picked up there by Dominic Brandt. Knocked away by Tyler Fleming, and now picked up by Aiden Hartzell. 2-on-0. Hartzell to Cote, who scores! Evan Cote makes it 4-0 Jets. Cote in his third game back. The 20-year-old from Tecumseh, Ontario, Canada. Beautiful feed from Aiden Hartzell. His second goal of the season. And the Jets off to the races. They lead 4-0. A 2-on-0 break. And it was Evan Cote, his second goal of the season from Aiden Hartzell and Tyler Fleming. It's 4-0. MetroJets out in front. Picked up there by Jake Blum. Picked up by Tyler Green. Green with a shot into the big paw of Jakub Upcheka, who hangs on with 21:44 to go in the second half. We mentioned the first half, Chicago Showcase format, a little bit different than your regular season game. Though these games do count in the regular season standings. For example, instead of the standard 3 20-minute periods of play, it is 2 25-minute halves. With a resurface at the end of the first half. Some showcases a little bit different. For example, the USPHL Detroit Showcase last month was 3 17-minute periods with a resurfacing of the ice at the 8:30 mark. For the first half of the second period. Chicago Showcase format, a little bit different with the 2 25-minute halves. The idea is to get in as much hockey as possible for the many college scouts from all over North America who are here with us this weekend. While less time playing-wise, it is in effect more hockey in a short amount of time. And also less time for teams to make a mistake with 10 less minutes to play. Altman with a shot, save made by Parker Ambry. Picked up there by the 18 of Alessandro Fontana Ruz. As Tyler Fleming sends it right back in, you can tell the Minnesota Squatch, this is their third game in about 24 hours. And you can see the fatigue now starting to show on the Squatch, while the MetroJets, this is their first game of the weekend. Zakani Nagomboski with a shot saved by Parker Ambry. But yeah, you can definitely see the fatigue showing. A little bit of a warm there. Big other shot goes wide. Dallin Robinson off the give and go from Lucas Plank. Plank trying to feed it off. Kept in by Gould with a shot. Patted away by Upcheka. Another shot saved by Upcheka off the glove. Comes back out, picked up by Jeb Gould. Another shot from the point. That was by Lucas Plank, goes wide. And comes by the other way, Sharon knocks it away from Lucas Plank. Zakani knocks Plank off the play. Chase Martin kicks it over to Daniel Luska, who feeds it down into the Squatch zone. Ryan Glomboski may get there, but it wasn't far enough for ice. As Gould goes down, slow to get up. Stone to Glomboski, and Glomboski couldn't convert. Picked up by Isaac Bunt with a shot. Ambry with a save. Gomboski grabs it back over to Peeves with a shot off the right shoulder of Ambry. Chase Martin with a deflection by Stone. Saved by Ambry. And everything to keep in mind for the Minnesota Squatch, goaltender Parker Ambry, this is his third consecutive start in 24 hours. He has started every game for the Squatch here this weekend. So that is definitely something to note. As Ambry perhaps a little fatigued, though he didn't look the part there in that recent sequence of action. Face-off won by the Squatch. Picked up by Ren Jacobson, the former Columbus Maverick, who's seen more than his fair share of MetroJets hockey when he played with the Mavericks last season. Picked up by Bennett Prokop. Prokop now over. Perkins trying to feed it to the 9 of Wes Schenkelberg. Schenkelberg, the reigning USPHL Premier North Division Offensive Player of the Week. Puck picked up there. Now stolen by Evan Cote, who scores! Evan Cote, top shelf on Parker Ambry, his second goal of the game, third of the season, and the Jets lead 5-0 over the North Division leading Minnesota Squatch. Evan Cote went bar down on Parker Ambry, and it's 5-0 Jets. Cote is second of the game, third of the season from Sutton Majeski and Aiden Hartzell at 6:46 has given the Jets a 5-0 lead. Aiden Hartzell snapping a scoreless draw with 1 goal and 2 assists today. The 18-year-old just turned 18 11 days ago from Muskegon, Michigan. And now picked up by Jake Taylor, the reigning USPHL Premier Great Lakes Division Defensive Player of the Month. Picked up by Daniel Luska. Luska now up to Coulter. And what's interesting to note, Jakub Obcheka is in goal. The reigning USPHL Premier Great Lakes Division Goaltender of the Month, Philippe Hall, is a scratch today. Evan Peacock backing him up, backing up Obcheka. Although we will see Philippe Hall this weekend here at the USPHL Chicago Showcase. Cote's second of the game from Sutton Majeski and Aiden Hartzell. Picked up by Outman, who couldn't get it out. Kept in by the 22 of Danilo Sobolski. As Daniel Luska feeds it back to Jake Taylor. Taylor looking for Outman. Come back to Fleming with a shot that goes wide. And Ambry covers. Shots 10-3 in favor of the Jets now. 21-17 overall. Minnesota actually outshot the Jets in the first half, 14-11. Face-off won by the Jets. Ambry had to steer that aside. Picked up by Zaccani. To Isaac Bunk. Bunk with a shot. And save made by Ambry through a crowd. Sharon to Zaccani. Over to Fleming. Fleming to Bunk. Bunk with a shot off the blocker of Ambry. Zaccani grabs a rebound over to Aiden Sharon. Sharon looking for Gomboski. Had it knocked away there by the 18 of Alessandro Fontanaruz, who fed it up to Lieb. Lieb now back to the 10 of Kojima. Shot goes wide. Joe Kojima, the former Northwest Express, gets it back over to Jeff Gould. Will send it right back into the Jet zone. Obcheka will play it for Tyler Fleming. Picked up by Aiden Sharon. Had it knocked away by Grant O'Connor. And Zaccani sends it over into the corner. Picked up on a break. The plank with a shot and steered away by Upcheka. But comes back over to Tyler Green. Green had it knocked away by Jackson Stone. A little bit of a delay next door with MJDP and the Columbus Mavericks. There's some ice issues as the Summit Ice Center staff and management working on correcting that over on the North T-Rex rink, which is a brand new rink, less than a month old. So working out the new bugs over there. Jackson Stone had it knocked away. Now picked up by Dallin Robinson. Double team there by Jake Taylor and Jackson Stone, and Taylor grabs it. Send it towards the net. Ambry steers it over for the 4. Dominic Brandt, the former Colorado Fighting Elk. As Jackson Stone sends it right back in. Picked up by Ren Jacobson. 14:15 to go here in the second half. MetroJets in command by a score of 5-0. As Luca Pivas over to Sandro Evangelista. Evangelista fires off the backside of Ren Jacobson. Picked up by Wes Schenkelberg. Schenkelberg pressured there by Sutton Majeski. Trying to get it out, and Luska couldn't keep it in. And Daniel Luska sidesteps 1-2 Squatch before Prokop grabs it away from him. As Cole Perkins trying to feed Schenkelberg. Jacobson with a shot off his own man. And Schenkelberg, he's hurt. He's heading to the bench. As Jacobson's shot went off the left ankle of Schenkelberg. Ren Jacobson's shot went off the left ankle of Wes Schenkelberg. Off the glove of Jacobson, not far enough for icing. And, well, it is. And Evan Cote voicing his displeasure. So is head coach Jamie Lovell. $13:16 to go. Here in the second half. Talked about at the top of the broadcast. MetroJets have played less games than the top 3 teams in front of them of the Great Lakes Division. Off-angle shot, save made there by Ambry. The Jets, after this game, will still have 6 games in hand on the Red River Spartans, who are third, just in front of the Jets. Should the Jets hang on to win this game, they will be just 5 points back with 6 games in hand on the Spartans, who only trail the Columbus Mavericks by 2 points. The Jets would have 4 games in hand on the Mavericks, who are trailing the MetroJets development program by a score of 3-1. And they would have 3 games in hand on the Toledo Cherokee, who lead the Great Lakes Division with 45 points. Should the Jets max out on points this weekend, they would be 2 points back at the Toledo Cherokee with a game in hand. So that's definitely something of note. That is providing the Toledo Cherokee, who play tomorrow, their final game. They're 3-0 this weekend. The Toledo Cherokee play, ironically enough, the MetroJets development program tomorrow. 8:30 face-off right here on the South Crush rink. Voice of the Cherokee, Zeke Fravor, will be on the call of that game. Novak brings it in. Knocked on the puck there by the 18 of Alessandro Fontana Ruz. The Columbus Mavericks will wrap up their showcase tomorrow against the Fort Wayne Spacemen. Saturday, December 13th at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern face-off. Tyler Green misfired. Picked up by Enric Fournier. Fournier will bring it in. His younger brother, Alex Fournier, the USPHL Premier Midwest Division Defensive Player of the Week, just announced earlier this week. Gabe Outman couldn't get to the puck, and now picked up by Lucas Plank. We mentioned it before, the Minnesota Squatch. This is their third game in 24 hours. While the MetroJets, fresh legs, their first game of the weekend. Bouncing puck, picked up by Jake Taylor, feeds it back over to Enric Fournier. Fournier off the boards, sends it into the Squatch zone. Almost picked off by Jake Taylor. Aiden Hartzell sends it in. He's had a good game, a goal and 2 assists for Hartzell. We mentioned the Squatch, third game in 24 hours. In addition, our goaltender Parker Ambry, it's his third game in 24 hours. He has started every game so far this weekend here at the Chicago Showcase. So again, perhaps the Squatch showing a little bit of fatigue at the moment. The Squatch will wrap up their Chicago Showcase tomorrow, Saturday, December 13th, against the Cincinnati Cyclones. 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern face-off. Aiden Sharon with 10 minutes left here in the second half. Trying to feed it to Hartzell. Luska grabs it. Had it knocked away, and Aiden Sharon feeds it back over to Tyler Fleming. Fleming now to A.J. Zaccani, who's got a goal today. One of the more flukier goals of the season for A.J. Zaccani. Picked up by Cole Perkins, bouncing puck on Upcheka, who feeds it to Isaac Bunk for Zaccani. Zaccani with a little bit of help from Jackson Stone. Stone, soft pass, was trying to feed Glomboski, was knocked away by Ren Jacobson. Zaccani gets it back, knocked away by Schenkelberg. And he stepped on his stick. And picked up by Jake Blum, who sends it into the Squatch zone. Ren Jacobson will grab it. Jacobson feeds it towards center ice. Jake Blum sends it right back in. Jacobson goes back after it. Pressured there by Luka Pivets. Pivets looking for Glomboski to Stone. Couldn't get the shot off. Jackson Stone trying to fight off Schenkelberg, and it comes back to Jake Blum, who fires it right back in, hops over the stick of Ambry, and Glomboski grabs it. Looking for Pivets. Instead found Alexander Beaver of the Squatch. Jake Taylor kicks it away from Sobolski. Battles there with Beaver, and it comes back to the 8. Brendan Carmody. Carmody feeds it up to the 13 of Spencer Thompson, but deflected off the bench and out of play. MetroJets doubleheader day is tomorrow, Saturday, December 13th. They'll start it off with the Minnesota Blue Ox right here on the South Crush Rink. 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern. And then not a lot of turnaround time before they play the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern. And like the Minnesota Squatch are dealing with right now, it'll be the MetroJets' third game in 24 hours. Well, it'll be the River Kings' first game of the weekend. So while the Jets enjoying the fresh legs at the moment, they'll be faced with the same situation the Minnesota Squatch are in right now, as Taylor's shot saved by Ambry. It'll be the River Kings' first game of the weekend tomorrow. $7:58 to go here in the second half. And it's our understanding still ice issues perhaps. We'll try to get an update from next door. Taylor now to Fournier. Deflected in by Evan Cote. Picked up by Tyler Green. Green not out, kept in by Sutton Majeski. Majeski to Evangelista. Evangelista trying to feed it up to Cote, looking for the hat trick. Majeski trying to pick the pocket of Dominic Brandt. The former Colorado Fighting Elk, former Isanti Outlaw. Picked up by Tyler Fleming. Fleming now with the puck. He'll send it in. Going after his rider, Novak. Novak pressured there by Jacobson, who has seen a lot of ice time today. The absence of Braden Kerr, who got called up to the Pueblo Bulls of the NCDC. Novak with a shot right out in front. Puck is loose. Picked up by Jacobson. Luska trying to keep it in. Couldn't do it. Knocked away by Jackson Hikert. Hikert with a shot. Patted away by Upcheka. Chase Martin grabs it. Collides there with the 18 of Fontana Ruse. And Jacobson couldn't keep it in. Carmody right to Chase Martin. Martin bringing it in all by himself with a shot. Saved by Ambry. Isaac Bunk trying to keep it in, and he does. Kicks it over to Gabe Outman. Outman behind the net. Feeds it to Zaccani. It goes wide. And whistle blows. Net is off the moorings with 6:18 to go here in the second half. So face off to the right of goaltender Parker Ambry. 6:18 to go here in the second half. Owen Coulter to take the draw against Colin Lieb. Knocked away there by Joe Kojima. Delayed offside as Joel Patterson and Gabe Outman have the tag back up. Picked up by Grant O'Connor. Less than 6 minutes to go here in the second half. Carmody let it go for Lucas Plank. Plank trying to sidestep Isaac Blanc. Over to O'Connor. Bouncing puck goes wide. Robinson battles there with Jake Blum. Owen Coulter grabs it. Coulter got it out in the neutral zone. Brought right back in by Grant O'Connor. O'Connor with a shot blocked by Blum. And here comes Owen Coulter. Coulter sends it in. Ambry lets it go for the 16th. Kyler DeFader. DeFader knocked to the ice by Gabe Outman and a hand pass being called. 5:24 to go here in the second half. And we'll have to get a clarification on what has transpired next door. Right now, MJDP leads 3-1. They were having ice issues over there on the North T-Rex rink. Picked up by Taylor to Fournier. Fournier with a shot, goes wide. Colin Lee, pressured there by Luka Pivets. Lee, then now pressured by still big hit by Aiden Hartzell on Colin Lee, but he was slow to get up. Pivets grabs it now for Hartzell. Hartzell up to Pivets. Pivets fires, save made by Ambry. Shots really in favor now of the MetroJets. 14-6 in this period, 25-20 in this game. Ambry's made 20 saves on those 25 shots. Plank gets down the neutral zone, picked up by Enric Fournier. Over to Jake Taylor. Jackson Stone deflects it. Was looking for Hartzell, comes back to Stone. Stone's pass intercepted by Prokop. And offside, the call, 4:15 to go here in the second half. Kick things off tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. next door on the North T-Rex rink. MetroJets Elite against the Motor City Gamblers Elite, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. While right here in the South Crush rink, In elite play, Red River Spartans, Fort Wayne Spacemen, 10:30 a.m. Central Time, 11:30 Eastern. Now kickoff day 3 of the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase. Penalty coming to Brendan Carmody. And that'll put the MetroJets on the power play for the first time this game. And the MetroJets, one of the best power plays in the league, 28.8%, 21 power play goals in 73 opportunities, the man advantage, 8th best in the USPHL Premier. While the penalty killing for the Minnesota Squatch, pretty darn good themselves, 88%. 8th best in the USPHL Premier. They have scored 6 shorthanded goals. That is something to keep an eye on. So a 2-minute minor for cross-checking and Brendan Carmody will put the Jets in a power play for the first time. Here this game with a 5-0 lead. Just about everything going the Jets' way. This game is Luska to Majeski. Majeski with a shot, Carmen, and saved by Ambry with 3:39 to go. Face off to the left of Parker Ambry. Won by the Jets, picked up by Zaccani. Knocked away by DeFader. Not out, kept in by Jackson Stone. Over to Daniel Luska. He's got 2 assists today. Over to Sutton Majeski. Majeski over to Jackson Stone with a shot, deflected save, rebound, and Ambry covers it up with 3:22 to go here in the second half. Looking over to our left and see a few MJDP players, including starting goaltender Cameron Cyrus, is out of uniform, so we'll definitely have to get a clarification on what transpired next door. Daniel Luska over to Stone. Jackson Stone with a shot, goes wide. Picked up by Sutton Majeski. To Zaccani, to Luska. Luska with the puck. Sends it towards the net, goes wide. Picked up by Sutton Majeski. Majeski, top of the face-off circle, over to Zaccani. Quick pass to Luska. Over to Stone, too far. Knocked away by DeFader. And Jackson Stone comes out with it. Stone over to Luska. Daniel Luska with the puck, send it across to Majeski with a shot up in the netting and out of play with 2:38 to go here in the second half. So looking over next door's game, it says in the score sheet, end of game, MJDP was leading 3-1. We know they had some ice issues over there. So we'll get a clarification on that. As far as what transpired. So I know that, well, again, we know they had some ice issues over there next door. Picked up by Glomboski. Glomboski over to Sharon. Aiden Sharon, pressured by Ren Jacobson, back to Glomboski. Over to Jay Taylor. Taylor back over to Sharon. Trying to feed it to Glomboski, who was pressured there by the forward, Dominic Brandt, and knocked down the neutral zone. Comes back to Pivets. Luka Pivets. So Glomboski went through his skates, and Jacobson sent it down. Nice play by Chase Martin to knock it from going all the way into the Jets zone, but picked up there by Hiker. Jackson Hiker, the 19-year-old from Richfield, Minnesota, former Isanti Outlaw. As Pivets deflects it in. Minute 40 to go. MetroJets will extend their winning streak to 5 games. They'll climb to 18-4-0-1. Good for 37 points. Still 4th in the USPHL Premier Great Lakes Division. And a little bit of misinterpretation between Ryan Glomboski and a couple of Squatch players. The Jets climb to 37 points, 5 points back of the Red River Spartans, but with 6 games in hand. They are 7 points back of the Columbus Mavericks, with 5 games in hand from them, and 8 points back of the Toledo Cherokee, with 3 games in hand on the Cherokee. As Ryan Gomboski and Dominic Brand, a couple of coincidental minors for roughing with 1:25 to go. Once again, the Minnesota Squatch will wrap up their USPHL Chicago Showcase tomorrow, Saturday, December 13th, against the Cincinnati Cyclones, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern face-off. Well, the MetroJets doubleheader day is tomorrow, Saturday, December 13th. Both games right here on the South Crush rink. They'll play the Minnesota Blue Ox, 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern. And then come right back at 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern against the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings. So the MetroJets going to start the weekend 1-0 here at the USPHL Chicago Showcase. Less than a minute remaining. Well, the Minnesota Squatch will fall to 1-2, including 0-2 today. So tough break for the Squatch, who didn't lose their first game in regulation this season until a week ago today against the Hudson Havoc. As Chase Martin and Grant O'Connor. A little bit of frustration in the part of the Minnesota Squatch. And O'Connor, his night is over. O'Connor will head to the locker room. His night is over. Chase Martin also headed to the box. So 27.9 seconds left here in the second half. So get everything all situated. Catch up on those penalties. Grant O'Connor and Chase Martin, both coincidental minors for roughing, it appears. O'Connor may have, or probably previous to that, 23-34. Ryan Gomboski, Dominic Brandt, a couple of coincidental minors for roughing. O'Connor for roughing. Martin for cross-checking. So MetroJets, as mentioned, 1-0 this weekend here at the USPHL Chicago Showcase. Their doubleheader day is tomorrow. Minnesota Squatch will wrap it up tomorrow against the Cincinnati Cyclones. And how about Jakub Obcheka? He'll stop all 20 shots he faces for his first career shutout in the USPHL Premier. Final score, MetroJets 5, Minnesota Squatch 0. Shots on goal in the third period, or in the second half. Minnesota Squatch was 6, game total of 20. MetroJets 21, game total of 32. Your player of the game. 1 goal, 2 co-players of the game. Jakub Obcheka, last minute decision. Jakub Obcheka, your player of the game. His first career USPHL Premier shutout. 20 shots, 20 saves. The 20-year-old from Zvolen, Slovakia. Final score, MetroJets 5, Minnesota Squatch 0. One more time we'll mention, Minnesota Squatch wrap up their USPHL Chicago Showcase tomorrow. Saturday, December 13th. Against the Cincinnati Cyclones, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. While the MetroJets, their doubleheader day is tomorrow, Saturday, December 13th. They'll play the Minnesota Blue Ox at 12:30 p.m., 1:30 Eastern. And then the Wisconsin Rabbits River Kings, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. Tomorrow, once again, final score, the MetroJets 5, Minnesota Squatch 0. We thank you for tuning in to day number 2, the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase. My name is Matt Preer, the voice of the MetroJets Hockey Club, saying goodnight. We'll see you back here tomorrow for day number 3, the 2025 USPHL Chicago Showcase. Good night, everybody.